The Red Bull driver won more races and scored more points than any other driver in the sport's history. Max Verstappen admitted that his season was not flawless, but it will be remembered as one of the best in Formula 1 history. Verstappen changed Red Bull's future and has consistently shown that he is mandatory for the game. He not only dominated F1, but caused a revolution in its history. Stick till the end of the video to know more. Verstappen broke the previous record of 13 Grand Prix victories in a season, set by Sebastian Vettel and Michael Schumacher, to become the second youngest driver to win 2 championships. This season was just fantastic, Red Bull's Verstappen said in an interview. We had a rocky start, but after that, we did very little wrong, and while you can never be perfect, we will always strive to be. Verstappen failed to finish in 2 of the first 3 Grand Prix due to car reliability issues. After that, he was nearly unstoppable, overcoming a 46-point deficit to Ferrari's Charles Leclerc to win the championship by 146 points. His season total of 454 was a season high. I try to be a perfectionist, which I know is difficult, but I demand that from myself, I demand that from the team, and the team demands that from me, he said. We always have an open discussion about it. It's normal to disagree on certain issues, that's how life works, but it's always important to be honest with each other and say when something isn't right. Red Bull adapted better than their competitors to the changes in aerodynamic regulations implemented for 2022, which were designed to allow cars to follow more closely and aid in overtaking. At the end of the day, it's all about who designs the best car and has the cleverest ideas, Verstappen said. Where you were going to be was a big question mark for everyone at the start of the season. You have your own numbers, but you don't know what others have discovered. From the start, our car was simply superior to the competition. Verstappen won the Japanese Grand Prix in October, becoming a 2-time champion with 4 races remaining. When he won the United States Grand Prix 2 weeks later, he helped Red Bull win its first Constructors' Championship since 2014. You always need 2 cars to perform well, Verstappen said, referring to his teammate Sergio Perez. It's extremely rewarding for everyone at the factory. Have you ever wondered what makes him the best? Verstappen won all but one of those types of Grand Prix due to his ability to perform when it mattered, and win 50-50 races when Red Bull and Mercedes had equal cars, and the victory came down to strategy, plus driver skill and tyre management. Because Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas were all over Verstappen in the middle of the race, Red Bull could only win the French GP with a 2-stopper. Mercedes had the faster car that day, but Verstappen put on a fresh set of medium tyres and caught and passed Hamilton with 1.5 laps to go, one of his best drives to date. To soak up the pressure on home soil at Zandvoort, the first Dutch GP in 36 years demonstrated how to keep a cool head. You may not believe that because of some of his radio antiques and harsh words he said in the past. However, Verstappen's performance over the last 3 years has been very neutral, as he puts it. He doesn't revel in victories, but he also doesn't let bad luck or a car breakdown bring him down. The manner in which he has dealt with the media has demonstrated that he has matured while remaining straightforward and honest in his responses. Verstappen was relentless against the 2 Mercedes in Zandvoort 2021, and this year, albeit with luck on his side, taking pole position and a hard-fought win both times. Then there's the 2021 United States Grand Prix, which will require excellent tyre management against the driver who knows the Pirelli rubber the best. Verstappen held on for a crucial win with a long final stint, not putting a foot wrong and taking every bit of life out of the tyres to cross the line first. Hamilton's race pace has been his strength throughout the turbo hybrid era, but he may have met his match, if not surpassed, in 2021. This season has been more of the same, minus the contentious incidents and heated rivalry. Nonetheless, Verstappen's ability to find the right setup in practice, deliver on the final run in Q3, get the most out of the tyres, and drive his heart out has been remarkable. With Verstappen around, the rest of the field is going to have a major headache. With the quality of the grid, F1 is in a fantastic position, but no one can match Verstappen's consistency and level of performance over the last 3 years. He is a perfect fit for the slick running Red Bull team because of the way he races and manages his tyres. He is a perfect fit for the slick running Red Bull team because of the way he races and manages his tyres. Adrian Newey praised Verstappen's real patience, citing his victory at the 2022 Hungarian Grand Prix as a high point. His car control is absolutely incredible, Newey said to Sky Sports. That is what distinguishes him. Hungary was his standout race for me. He finished 10th on the grid after his K-shaft snapped in the pit lane. Then we had a clutch issue and had to tell him not to use DRS during the race to get the clutch under control and no pushback, and when we did tell him to push, he was clinical. In the second half of the 2022 F1 season, Red Bull had the better car, but there were many races when Ferrari and Leclerc were the team to beat. Mistakes by the driver, strategies, or car problems meant no title fight, and who was there to pick up the pieces almost every time? Verstappen. It must be a gut punch for Ferrari to know they will be punished every time they put a foot wrong, knowing they need perfection just to beat Red Bull every weekend. The team's principal, Christian Horner, stated that Verstappen had made another step this year. Winning the championship last year really took the pressure off his shoulders, he explained in an interview. He just matured and shifted gears. He adapted to the new regulations brilliantly, got his head down and just drove some incredible races. When you look at the Grand Prix victories, you can see some incredible races. He was without a doubt the season's best driver. Hamilton, who finished 6th in the drivers' standings, praised Verstappen's performance. He's done everything that he had to do, Hamilton said. The team provided him with an incredible car, and he's delivered almost every weekend. Verstappen, according to Horner, has yet to receive the credit he deserves over the last 2 years. Two very different drivers, two phenomenally successful drivers, he said of Vettel, who won 4 titles with Red Bull from 2010 to 2013. Sebastian's accomplishments place him among the sport's greatest and most successful drivers, but what we saw from Max this year was something very special. I sometimes think his accomplishments don't get the recognition they deserve because it was an absolutely outstanding performance from a driver who is at the top of his game. With Red Bull finishing 205 points ahead of Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship, the question of whether Formula 1 is heading into an era of Red Bull dominance, as Mercedes did from 2014 to 2021, has been raised. It's always very important to hit it off well with new regulations, and I think we did that, Verstappen said. Now, it's all about trying to continue that and trying to find even more performance in the cars. Normally over time, it all comes together and the teams become closer. Yes, we've gotten a head start, but as a group, we're never satisfied. We are always looking for more. We want to improve, but we also rely on what the other teams discover or improve on. According to Horner, Verstappen and Red Bull will find it difficult to dominate in 2023. Ferrari will make progress starting this year, and Mercedes has worked hard on their car, he said. They made a lot of progress this year, so they're going to take a step and you'll have a 3-way battle next year. He is driving beautifully and has changed the game regarding the level of performance required to become a world champion over the long seasons that F1 now has. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and share the video with your friends and family.